Hello, I'm Holly Fiorello, the Vice President of Marketing for CallPotential, and with me today I have Grace Toddy, the Vice President of Marketing for Absolute Storage Management. Thanks for joining us, Grace.
Thank you, Holly. I'm excited to be here today.
Grace is one of my very great friends, and this year took me skiing for my very first time and put up with me on the bunny hill and falling off the chairlift multiple times.
You were a trooper. You get all the credit for that day. Skiing is not easy at all.
Well, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. Anyways, so thank you for joining us. Congratulations on Absolute's 21st year in business.
Yeah, we are celebrating 21 years of operation. Not quite 21 years in the industry because our founders started their career in self-storage in the SUSA days, those Storage USA days. And so they've been in the industry probably an additional 10 years. But the company is celebrating our 21st birthday, and we are celebrating entering into our 21st state this year. And
Oh my
so it's
gosh.
really fun turning 21 in 21 states.
Wow, that is amazing. Will there
Yeah,
be shots?
yeah, yeah. Maybe that's how we'll celebrate.
That is so cool. I love when things come together like that.
Yeah, it's neat.
So, um, Absolute has been one of our very valued partners and clients for the last few years.
Mhm.
Um, Grace, you want to talk before we get into that, talk a little bit about how you got into self-storage?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I think my story mirrors a lot of other industry folks in the sense that like I didn't seek out storage. It just kind of happened upon me. I actually started, this is a not so known fact, Holly. I don't even know if you know this. I started as an intern with Absolute Storage Management. I was their operational analyst, well, operational intern, kind of doing a little bit of everything, and then came on board full time as an operational analyst, working right under our COO, who was Matt Bailey at the time, one of those founding partners. Um, and then I like to say that marketing found me because I was the youngest in the corporate office. And so they basically said, "Hey, can you figure out this social media stuff? And while you're at it, can you manage our website?" I'm
I mean,
sure
you
the
were
guys,
12. I would have trusted you too.
yeah, well, thank you. I'm sure Matt, Michael, Haw, and Scott Beatty, those founding partners, I'm sure they would say that it didn't go down like that, but that's how it seemed.
That is
So
wonderful.
I've been in the industry with a company for going on 11 years, and have been kind of dedicated to marketing for the last 7 of those 11. But I
Wow,
enjoyed my time in operations, and as often as I can, I get involved in what's going on operationally and with our properties.
that's awesome. So you've got a kind of inside knowledge of operations and the marketing. You've got a great perspective all around.
That's kind of you to say.
All true. Uh, Tell us a little bit about Absolute, where you guys are located, what your portfolio's like.
Sure, sure. So our home office is based in Memphis, Tennessee. If you are ever in the Memphis office or Memphis area, excuse me, please contact me because I'd love to show you Memphis. I am physically now in Shreveport, Louisiana, but we have regional offices in Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Nashville, Charlotte, kind of these localized presences throughout the Southeast region, which has historically been our footprint. We started in 2002 in really the southern states. It was Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia were our footprint. Then we branched and branched and branched and grown. And until this year, we were in the southeastern and midwestern states. And as of 4 weeks ago, we are now in the West as well. That's part of those 21 states this year. We're in Denver, Colorado, and Phoenix, Arizona, and are looking forward to expanding more.
Wow, that's very exciting. Do you get to go visit some locations out west?
I can make that happen. Yes.
I will join you.
Yeah, come on. We'll go skiing again in Colorado.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, great. Thank you for sharing a little bit about that. And kind of like I briefly mentioned, we've known each other in the industry for so many years. We were so excited when Absolute came on as a partner and client with our collection manager software. Could you talk a little bit about how you guys use collections?
Yeah, I think this is Holly, it's like really full circle here because I think rolling out the collections manager program was one of my projects as an operational analyst. And so it really is full circle here. That program probably started 7 or 6 years ago. COVID kind of has time sucked up into a vortex. So I might be a little bit off on that, but I really feel like it was very early in my kind of absolute career. And I worked with your team to get that rolled out to a number of our properties. We tested it. It's automated collections for our viewers here who aren't sure what that is. It's robocalls, it's text messages, and it's also Holly, what's the third? There's a third component
Email,
to it. Emails, maybe? Yeah. And
email,
so
text, pay by phone.
yes, thank you. Robocalls. So the system integrates completely with our point of sale system, which is DoorSwap. And it not only does those outgoing messages, but it completely tracks it and logs it in DoorSwap, which is important for us because we still have team members on site who are also doing calls and also sending messages. And so it's important to have that true list of how often and when did we actually contact this person?
That's a great way to use it and implement it and augment your team and also have those operational controls, like you said, so you know it's being done. You don't have to worry about it. Uh,
Mhm.
and talking about coming full circle, uh, another congratulations is opening your sales center, um, which again, humble brag, we're so excited that you're using Call Potential for this. We've been waiting for this day.
Yeah,
Can you talk a little bit about what the sales center is?
I am so excited about this too. So Absolute decided to make a shift from using a true kind of what you think of a sales center to now using your call potential sales technology to route those calls in a smart fashion, route them to different individuals who maybe have specific skills, like they excel in sales or they excel in de-escalation or they excel in even outbound collections. We're using it for that component as well. And then also as we were kind of moving into this era of remote management or virtual property management, we're leveraging your technology for that as well. And we're just excited. You know, we've had a wonderful partnership. We've been using our call center provider for about 15 years and are happy with the services that they were able to give us. But we're excited to be able to keep that level of functionality. So some of those current functionality things like the um, what is it called? Phone payments. I don't know why I was thinking auto payments. It's not auto pay, but pay by phone functionality and also auto collections and those things that we talked about. The previous provider is able to do that. And so with your system, we're also able to still do that, but then improve on, like you said, augmenting our current team. And so leveraging them a little bit more strategically, also leveraging our broader storage knowledge. Like our team members are going to be trained. I think most of, if not all of our agents that we've outlined or identified come from property experience. And so it's going to be a little bit more free flowing in the sense that they are using a script, but they're more educated and can go off script. They all know DoorSwap and are using like components of DoorSwap directly. And so I'm just really, really excited. We're also going to be able to offer 24-hour support instead of just
Wow.
not that the previous provider was really limited. Most of the after hour calls were able to be answered, but there's an additional fee if it was outside of those hour span, or if it was an outbound call because of an emergency. Those were additional costs. And so we're excited to be able to give our owners some of those features without an additional cost. And so that's really, really exciting for us. And then the most impactful difference that we're going to see, not to diminish all the other impact, because from a branding perspective, I'm really excited to have this in-house so that our agents can be a little bit more in tune with where did this call originate from? Is it from an annex site that maybe has a different brand? Or was it the main site that has a different brand? So lots of impact that we're excited to kind of implement, but we're going to be able to like rent that unit right now on the phone, which is not something that we can do currently with our sales center provider or call center provider. So Holly, I just rambled. So many
No,
benefits.
it was perfect. It was perfect. I was not going to interrupt. Just, listening to you talk, the branding cannot be diminished at all because
Yeah.
you are, you guys operate in such a unique situation that I love, like, you do something custom for your clients for each brand, but they still have that full suite, full white glove service. Could you talk a little bit, like, because you are operating the call center uniquely, and you touched on it a little bit, but if you could just expand a little bit on what that would look like, how you guys are, again, this is brand new, how you're envisioning that this experience is going to be for different brands that you manage.
Yeah. So what Holly's referencing is we have 140 properties right now. And of those 140 properties, we have about 120 different brands. So all of our owners bring their own either portfolio with the same logo, or each asset has its own branding, own logo. And so we need to be very conscientious of that when we're building out a system like this. Very similar to how we had to build our website to adjust and manipulate to those different color codes and logos and branding messages. And so the CallPotential software is able to identify accurately where is that the call coming from. So it doesn't matter how many different times it routes to agent one. If agent one is busy, it queues up into agent two or agent three. That whoever answers that call knows that this caller knows that Holly called for portfolio A. And so they can answer it, I'm Grace. Thank you for calling portfolio A. How can I help you? And Holly, correct me if I'm wrong, your system can even identify if they're a current customer. And so I can now answer and say, hello, Holly, thank you for calling so-and-so. I see that you're late on your unit. Can I take a payment for you? And so it can even expedite calls. Talk about customer service there. That is so, so great. Or you can say, things like, I saw you just tried to make a payment via our phone payment system. Can I help you with that? But it didn't go through. Can I help you with that? And so it's just really neat to be able to take that customer service to the next level. Holly, could you imagine if you called like American Airlines and they said, I see that you're trying to rebook a flight. What options here are the flight options, instead of having to
Yeah, I see
verify.
that you've called four people and can't find your bag. Let me
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah. Gosh, if they could figure out that my flight just landed, but I'm going to miss my next flight, that would
Hmm.
be really cool.
Yes, I totally 100% agree. Giving context to the call and then also having notes for your other agents. It's really makes everyone feel like they're in sync and in tandem and know what's going on. So we've seen like a lot of efficiencies when people operate that way. So I think that's fantastic you're doing that. You're also mentioned earlier on our pre-call that you're going to utilize a system for outbound calling as well.
Yeah, we are. So because we're shifting from a kind of a vendor that is optimizing their agents for multiple facilities, and so it's a little bit more limited to the calls that come inbound to them. we don't have those same confines. In fact, we're trying to best utilize these individuals and their skills. And so we're prioritizing, leads that come in. Those Holly mentioned or explains it as like a queuing system. And so if it's a lead, a potential renter, that's going to get like really prioritized up on the queue there. And our highest converting agents, those agents who are super strong in sales skills and can, some people just have that gift of soft pitching and hard pitching and hard converting into a rental. They're just really aggressive with that. Aggressive is so negative. We love that. This is the role that we're creating for this individual. But they're going to get those lead calls. And then we're anticipating downtime for our agents as well. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a software and a system that could help us leverage their time in between those sales calls. And so they're gonna augment, I love that word that you used earlier, collections for the properties, or they're gonna help with customer service calls because your system can tell us they're a current customer, they're not a current customer. And so they're gonna help answer those customer calls. They're going to also help us with virtual property management because we are still dealing with team members or offices that might be understaffed. So they're supposed to have 2 team members or 1.5, but we only have 1 right now. Well, that 1 person needs a day off. And so your system makes it super easy to reroute those calls to a virtual property manager. We also have properties who are kind of like flexing and changing and testing different office hours, staffed office hours. And so your system is going to make it really easy for us not to miss a call when that office is closed now on Mondays and open on Tuesdays to Fridays, or Tuesday through Saturday. And then the other kind of scenario is just a true virtually managed facility. And so this software is going to make it even easier for us to adjust per property based on those properties' needs.
So you're currently doing remote property management now, correct?
We are, this is April 2023, we lean heavily into a hub and spoke model. So it's typically a sister property is close by and can physically go to that property. Although, yes, that annex is not manned. That's what we've seen has been successful for us and for our property's growth, especially a lot of our property is new development. And so we need to just make sure that we're giving the property the attention that it needs. And so we've seen higher lease up schedules when it's a manned facility instead of an unmanned. But we're actively looking at changing that. And we're actively looking at not changing, but adding a true remotely managed facility to our portfolio. That's in the works.
Ooh. That kind of leads me into my next question. What's in the future for Absolute? What are you guys working on? If you could share, like, where do you think the future's going for self-storage?
Ooh, that is a very good question, Holly. So I can definitely tell you where I think the future is for marketing.
Perfect.
Digital spend campaigns is just taking over. We see that kind of as the REITs are spending more on digital ads, primarily. Google has been like the lion's share where all of our digital ads have been, like, our dollars are spent. The REITs are still doing that, but now Google is, I don't know if you've seen, if you go to Google, they don't have pages anymore. It's just a single scroll now. That's probably 2 months old or something like that. And so those organic placements are just so far down the scroll. And so things like digital advertising, sponsored ads, I think is just going to continue to be more impactful in a user's journey. And so that's something to be aware of. The other thing that I'm keeping an eye on, shockingly, Bing is picking up some users. And I think it has
Yes,
everything to do with Chat GPT.
I said the same thing. I was talking to Phil about this the other day. And I opened up the Edge browser. I was like, let me see, because Google results have gone so downhill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm very, very interested to hear you say that. Are you seeing an increase in traffic from Bing?
We are seeing an increase in users from Bing. Yeah. So our website provider is able to tell me how many like average users just use Bing, kind of like Google Trends.
Mhm.
It's there. They can show me also Bing trends, and Bing surpassed. I think I'm going to get this benchmark wrong. They maybe had been hovering around like 30,000 users a day, and last month, so in February, they surpassed it to be 1 million users a day, which is a big jump, a big increase. I don't know
Oh,
if it's sustainable. I think everybody's
yeah.
kind of waiting to see what is Chat GPT going to do, and how's that as an operator. I'm really concerned about how is that going to impact our customers' journey. Like,
Mm.
is this going to change searching habits? I don't know. We've got to monitor it and find out. And so I think
Uh,
that's kind of on the radar for the future.
so that's kind of interesting too, because isn't Chat GPT only have information from 2021? What if you have brand new properties? Would they not have that indexed?
Correct. They're indexing more. And so I know that they're working to kind of like bridge that gap. I I mean, this is total speculation, Holly. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Where's
But
the
I
crystal
would
ball, Grace?
imagine I would imagine that there is, I was just talking about paid ads. I think they are going to make you pay to have like verified information. Similar to like,
Mhm.
I don't know if you've been keeping up with Meta. Meta is talking about like you have to pay to have a verified account. I would not be so surprised if Chappy GPT or Bing went through something like that too.
Um, Twitter tried that, right? Elon.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Like
know
someone
how
paid to
successful it's
verify that they
been.
were Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it's $7 a month and it's like a Google ad, totally would do it, right? Like, what are we paying for Google ads right now? Like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But a Facebook page, $7 a month for a Facebook page for 140 property.
yeah,
I don't know if that would be worth the juice. Um,
yeah,
Holly, I think operationally though, just to kind of um, put a bow on what I predict the future is good operations is going to be so impactful these next 6 months as interest rates continue to just go up. We're seeing fewer individuals searching for self storage, and fewer individuals are moving, which causes reduced lead volume. And so just making sure that you're staying on top of that street rate, your customer rates, coming off of a really good year last year, street rates were really high. Now they're really low. Customer service is vitally important because those customers that have a higher street rate than what you can move a new person in, this person now becomes more important to you than where before it was like, well, if the street rate was below my new customer, if the current rate was below my street rate, I don't care if I irritate this person, move them out because I can move somebody else in at a higher rate. So that dynamic is shifting.
that
And
is
so
such a
that's
good
where I just think
perspective.
customer service is going to be huge. Loyalty programs, we might see loyalty programs pop up. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that is such a very interesting perspective. Are you operationally, are you guys kind of cooling the heat on the rate increases, or are you still seeing what you can get past?
It's still property specific. So 140 properties, everything we do is built to scale. It's built to scale but it's also built to flex for what that property needs. And so we have a revenue management team led by Rachel Lewis. She has been a part of our operations team for 6 years, and she is just so in tune with how do you rank your facility as compared to your actual competitors. And she audits every single one of our properties. She has a call with those RMs, and they're looking at current competition, any new competition, and just making sure that, like, if we're not the price leader, we don't need to be setting our rates against price leaders. That makes sense. There's
Oh,
three or four
wow.
different categories that you can categorize your property in, and then therefore it kind of looks at the other competition around you. We leverage a technology to use that, and so she uses that provider. It integrates with DoorSwap, and so it's really seamless for us. But it's a big undertaking, and
Yeah.
operators definitely, if you didn't take the time last year to look at revenue management, now's the time. Yesterday was the time, but yeah, now's the time.
If you missed yesterday, start today. Yeah, that's great. Sounds like you guys do a lot of your due diligence and have a full plan of attack for each of your clients, which I'm sure is very appreciated.
We try to. I mean, we really do try to operate our facilities with our owner's best interest in mind.
Wonderful. All right. So are you, before we close up here, are you going to be joining us at Inside Self Storage? We'll absolutely have a booth.
I am. Yes, we are going to have a booth. I don't remember the number, but please come stop by.
Look
We
for the face.
always, yeah, we always have consumables. And so if you get a little hangry like I am, come by our booth. We'll have cookies or cake pops or something sweet treat for you to have.
Always a wonderful pick me up. Well, thank you, Grace, so much for joining us. And again, congratulations on your sales center. I can't wait to circle back with you in another couple months and just see how everything's going. We will have Grace's information included on the landing page if you'd like to give her a shout out or have any questions or would like to get in contact with her. So thank you again, everyone, for watching. And thanks again, Grace, for joining us.
Thank you, Holly. And thank you, Call Potential, for making our new sales center possible.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.